Welcome back. I am so glad you're here. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm really excited about this. It's been quite a week. So, as you know, I am kind of new to this whole YouTube readings without a person sitting in front of me. So, this has been wild. So, if you're new, welcome. If you've come back, thank you for coming back. So, let's see. This is a reading for the week of May 5th through, I guess that would be through the 12th, through the 11th, the 12th, whatever a week is. I like to do Sunday through Saturday. But here's the thing. Whenever this reading finds you, you can find wisdom from this. Okay. My biggest thing with all of my readings is that if you are open to the idea of growing, then you'll find wisdom within it. On the other hand, if it doesn't resonate with you, like, sometimes maybe you're flipping through readings and they're talking about something, you're like, this has nothing to do with my life. And for whatever reason, you're trying to make it fit. Don't try to make it fit. It either resonates or not. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. You know what resonates with you. So, we are going to take a look at what energies are coming up for this week for the collective, and we'll get some advice on how we can best work with these energies, and then we'll get some oracle messages to top it all off, because I'm a big fan of messages from the universe. So, are you ready? Let's take a look. We're going to do our 3 energies of this week. Those are lovely. We are going to take a look at 3 advice cards for the week. Oh, these are also lovely. And there is that stinking 5 of Cups. Y'all, what the heck are we doing? Like 5 of Cups coming up again. Okay. And then I like to look at our underlying energies card, which is so great. Okay. I am totally loving all of this. I'm loving all of it. I'm loving all of it. Okay. So let's look at our energies for the week. We have got some really beautiful cards. Aren't these lovely? Like, there's so much loveliness going on here. Okay, so we've got the 2 of Cups, which, as you can see, is really just this coming together, sharing, blending. This could be love, but I think this is for all relationships, not just intimate love, but any kind of love relationship, friends, family. 2 of Cups. Isn't it interesting? Like, as we come together, so much energy comes pouring up that we're able to fill not just our own cup, but fill the other people's cups in our world. I love this card. That's great stuff going on this week. And then we have the Page of Swords. And, the Page of Swords, she is so interesting to me, because this is like the woman who is kind of like stuck in her head, and she is learning and holding on to so many ideas, and there's so much energy. Like, you can even see all these little swirls of energy going on, and you think that she really doesn't have a clue of what's going on around her, but she tiptoed so carefully across that sword. And we don't know if this is like there's earth right here, or if like this is a big pit, a cliff. We have no idea. But what we do know is that even though it seems like she is in her head and having all the ideas, there is clearly some sense of awareness of what's going on around her. Pages are usually messenger cards, so I'm wondering if this is a sign that you're going to have new messages coming in while you're dealing with your normal creativity and normal learning. That's an interesting idea. And then we have the 8 of Wands, which is, such a cool card, because there's so much power and light. You know, this to me is very much it has that feel of like you're laying under the trees, looking up at the trees, and they're reaching on forever kind of a feel, you know, like it just, that seems to be the perspective. But this is super inspiration. You know, is it coming from the collaboration, the sharing, the coming together? Is it coming from the ideas, the learning? I don't know. What do you think that it is? If anything, I see sparks going on here. And this kind of reminds me of like matches, you know, one lights and then boom, 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 the next all light up. It's very, very interesting. The underlying energy of the week is a pretty powerful card. This woman always, like, she's a badass, right? And she doesn't need a really huge wall. She just needs to know that the wall is there. This Nine of Wands is the setting your boundaries, standing by your boundaries, and being firm in them, and really not taking anybody else's ideas as what needs to be right for you. She stands tall and strong. She's confident. She knows what is right for her. And I love that for us. That's pretty awesome. Underlying energy to have that. So let's take a look at our advice cards for the week. We've got the Moon. We've got the Four of Swords. And we've got the Five of Cups. Okay, so let's start with the Five of Cups, because this bad boy keeps popping up. Like week after week, we keep getting this message of, look, we are focused on what we are losing instead of focusing on what we have. So I believe that our advice is to acknowledge what's lost. We need to acknowledge it. We need to say, yes, that is lost. And then we need to shift our focus. You know, once we are able to pick up this bowl that is full of energy, we'll be able to follow that path and see where it goes to. But before we can follow that path, once we acknowledge it, I kind of feel like that's what's going on here. We're acknowledging it. We're getting into the shadows. We're going into the deeper side. We're able to start to look into the subconscious things that are keeping us focused on the losses that are getting in the way of us starting to shift to a place of, where are we abundant? What gifts do we have? You know, going into the depths and looking into the hidden places and really asking ourselves, what kind of illusions have we got going on in our lives that maybe we need to examine and determine whether they're real or not, you know? I think that's a pretty interesting idea. And then, of course, we have the Four of Swords. This woman is in a nest. She is resting. She looks like she has needed this. And you see there's even like this heart. So often I think of this as, you know, heart healing, that deep, deep rest that is needed to overcome burnout, that deep, deep rest that is needed to integrate the shadow pieces, that deep rest that allows us to acknowledge that we've had loss and we still are able to find the abundance and go on to the next piece. So I am really interested in hearing what you think of all of this. So if any of this is ringing true to you, please leave a comment. So let's take a look at our messages from the universe. So this week I've got 3 decks. I've already shuffled them because I didn't want to shuffle in the middle of all this. So let's take a look at this one. This is the Secret Traveler deck by Denise Lynn. You know, I've used her deck before. I love this deck. Okay. Oh, answering the call. The time is now. Look, she is like opening that door and she is going. Like she is on the move. The time is now. That is pretty awesome oracle message. Okay, let's take a look over here. This is the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. 21, clean it up. That's interesting. I feel like we've had this one before too, like recently. Maybe that was in a personal reading. I'm not really sure. But we've got that message. We're going to look into that also. And then I have this deck. This is the Soul's Journey deck. And it really has like affirmations on it. So I thought, let's just pull an affirmation for us for this week. Balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So let's take a look in our book, because I don't have any of these memorized about what any of these oracle meanings are. So let's see. Let's start with answering the call. The time is now. Okay. Okay. Card meaning. You have been called. The sacred journey always starts with the call. You might feel ready, or you might be uncertain and not willing, but when you receive the call, you must respond. If you've been waiting for your life to turn out, the waiting is over. Your true and authentic life is happening. If you've been hoping for a sign, this is it. Right now, you've been called, and a gateway is opening for the communications from the spirit realms. The energy of courage surrounds you. You may not know what the future brings, but you do know that now is the time to act and go forward. That is really interesting, because I'm getting a lot of, it's time to keep your boundaries and dig deep. So let's see what the Sacred Traveler wants us to know. Spirit is trying to get your attention. Right now, your spirit helpers are telling you that this is your time. Listen with your heart. Your time is now. Do it now. Throw your shoulders back. Take a deep breath and plunge forward. The waiting is over. No matter what concerns or hesitations you may have, in the deepest sense, you're ready. Believe, trust, follow the signs. There will be many, and miracles will abound. That is a really beautiful message, to trust in the universe. And trust is so hard. You know, trust is so hard whenever we are wanting something so badly or fearing something so badly. It's really hard for us to trust that, you know, it's all going to work out, or that it is working out, and you feel like you're stuck in a physical world where things aren't working out. So answering the call, the time is now. We've got collaboration and union going on, and creation from collaboration. We've got learning and bright ideas and messages coming in, and we've got that spark of wisdom, of inspiration, of desire, of passion. We're doing it from a place of knowing where our boundaries are. And somewhere in there, we are digging in and making sure that I know exactly what this message is. I know exactly what this is. The message that we have to remember, that even as we answer the call and we are creating our collaborations, we are digging in, we are exploring new ideas, we've got passion going on, we have got desires going on, we've got inspiration going on. All of this action, action, action. It's perfect to stand our ground. We need that state of balance. We need perfect harmony. And how do we do that? How do we create harmony and balance from all of this action? It's rest. This is all rest. We take our action, we take our rest. Rest is important. That's when we integrate our learning. That's when we heal ourselves. That's when we are ready for the next piece that's coming in. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on. So for those of you who are human doings, it's time to start having some space in your life to be human beings. You know, we have to be, we have to rest, we have to go the cycles. You know, all of nature works in cycles. We have our waves where we go up and down. The moon goes in cycles. Like, we need to balance this answering the call with the rest and the recovery and digging in deep. So Let's take a look at this last message from the universe. 21. Clean it up. The essential meanings are getting to the core of a situation, freedom from a burden, and then, of course, cleaning house and sweeping away what's no longer needed. Is this time to let go? Is it time to clean up and stop focusing on our losses? I'm not really sure. It might be. I mean, it's coming up, so it must mean something, right? The Oracle's message. Ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home also? Too much work, overwhelmed, time to clean house. Every item out of place natters away at you. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds up to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. That really is like that whole idea of bringing in that balance, right? Cleaning up to have the balance come into our lives. I think that's so cool. So cool. Let's see what the relationship message says. Time to clear the air. Take a look at your side of the street and say what's on your mind. Ooh, is that connecting to our boundaries, woman here? Sweep away the old stuff so that a spring breeze can flow through with new energy. Is that what that's going on here? It's the perfect time to do an inventory of your dynamics and see what's yours and what's not yours to clean up the relationship. Everyone brings baggage. Sort through what you brought with you and let go of what is no longer needed. Become unencumbered and your relationship will flourish. I like that. Let's read the prosperity message. Simple things like opening your mail, paying bills, sorting out your timetable, making lists, and getting organized is what this symbol means when it comes to your work. Make time for yourself, too. This card is a sign you may be overburdened and overwhelmed. It's okay to say no. Listen, my friends, we can't get this message. It's okay to have boundaries any stronger by being repeated here. You will prosper even more so if you say no. And let's talk about the protection message that she gives us. Is it possible you may be focusing too much on other people right now, trying too hard to be helpful? Does taking on what belongs to others make you feel needed or desired? Perhaps you think it's your calling to relieve people of their burdens, but what is the cost to you and to them? Don't clean up someone else's side of the street. You're not helping by freeing him or her of her responsibility. You're also not doing yourself any favors, and you just might be adding an even greater strain. You are loved as you are. You don't need to be loved. You don't need to be needed to be loved. Boy, I read that one wrong. Let me try that again. You don't need to be needed to be loved. We clearly needed to hear that a lot, right? One of the other things that comes to mind is a practice that I do, and you might find it helpful for yourself. I imagine all the things that I've got going on in my brain, all the places where I've got worry going on, as like coming out of my stomach as these like little cords, and it's like energy cords that are attached to all the things that I've got my brain wrapped around, whatever I'm feeling, wonky about, or I take time each day to imagine myself pulling those cords back into myself and kind of detaching from it. It's not detaching from an uncaring way. It's just detaching from I don't need to feed that piece with my own energy because there's enough energy going on there. So I'm going to pull my energy back into myself and get grounded and centered. And maybe that's something that could be helpful for you. So for this week, I bring in a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Beautiful affirmation. Let's pull in our energy, get focused, answer the call. collaborate, listen for messages, get the inspiration, enjoy the desire, set your boundaries, and then dig deep, rest hard, acknowledge the losses and the wonderful things going on in your life so you can move forward and clean house energetically and in real life, in the physical. So I hope that this is helpful to you. I'm going to be back next Sunday with a new reading. I hope that you will join me. If you like journaling, I've added some tarot journaling videos and more on the way. If you like this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel so that you're notified when the next one is uploaded. And of course, it would be an honor if you shared this with other people that you think might find some good use out of it. So take care. I'll see you soon. Have a great week, guys.